Good day, everyone. How are you? Welcome to the 5th edition of the Say What, Speak and Serve Initiative Debate Competition, running under the theme Nurturing Ideas for a Healthier Society Through Debate. It is all systems go. Many thanks to our supporting partner, the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe. And a special welcome to our adjudicators that have the toughest decision when it comes to deliberating. And also to our sign language professional who's doing quite an excellent work over there. Alright, so without wasting any time, just have to introduce you to the institutes that I have right here with me. So to my far left, we have got Africa University, we've got Gweru Polytechnic, and Lupane State University, and last but not least, it's Chinhoyi University of Technology. So without wasting any time, we have to read the motion. Let the games begin. With the motion, this House proposes a world where after COVID-19 is no longer a threat, remote work remains the norm. With the motion, this House proposes a world where after COVID-19 is no longer a threat, remote work remains the norm. I'll have to give this time to the Prime Minister. Can you come forward?
As the government side and the Prime Minister we are advocating for continued adoption of remote working in a world where the COVID-19 pandemic has been contained. We propose that remote work can be adopted hand in glove with the job market that existed prior, which is on-site workspaces. We support on-site workspaces while keeping in mind that maize in agroecological zone 2 of Zimbabwe will not grow itself while the farmer is in Dubai. So basically what remote work is, working from home or from anywhere, telework, a remote job or mobile work. So employees do not commit to a central place physically. They do not need to go to an office. So even in the past, it has always been happening. This is not a new thing. Porters and smiths always worked from home. Okay, so I will say to you, work is what you do and not where you travel to. Then remote work is supported by technologies such as collaborative software, virtual private network, conference calling, video telephony, internet access, cloud camping, voice over IP, mobile telecommunications technologies like Wi-Fi. So as the opening government, I am going to define what my speech is going to contain, which is it will define the proper working environment, which will then bring to you why we need to accept that we should continue with remote working. Then I'm going to outline the benefits of remote working, and then I will highlight the policy components, considerations that need to be taken for us to implement this remote working.
Sure.
Now, second. Then I'll also highlight the potential hazards and how to mitigate them. Okay, so starting with the working environment, we believe that the working environment should provide and employ solutions that contemplate work-life fit. So you need to balance between your work and your life. So remote working allows you to balance between your family, the time that you have with your family, and the time that you have with at work. So it also expands talent tools. It increases employee attraction and retention. Now that the employee is happy, he's spending time at home, he can then be happy, and that entails productivity. It also creates a diverse and more inclusive workforce, since now you can hire globally. You can have people from other areas. Then it also reduces real estate costs like parking, rent, and the gadgets that you need to buy for your office. It also reduces labor cost. It reduces labor cost in the sense that if you increase productivity and efficiency, I'll take that.
Okay, so you basically what you're advocating for is just something which is going to be beneficial to the employees, but not the business on its own.
Okay, so I just said it is going to reduce the real estate cost, and trust me, that is to the employer. Yeah, so real estate cost is to the employer. Then the employees are also benefiting. Thank you for highlighting that everybody is benefiting from this. Okay, so going on to the potential benefits of remote working, we're saying that it is going to reduce cost. As I have highlighted before, that the office space and related expenses are going to be covered for. Then it is time efficient, which means it increases productivity. Then it has greater flexibility. It allows you to hire a better talent globally. So now you can hire somebody who's at Malawi and you in Zimbabwe. It also improves safety. Now that at your workspace you have fewer people, then it means that you can take safety precautions for those people. So it is also good for the globe at large. Due to carbon emissions being reduced, and we are happy to support the motion.
Okay, thank you so much, Prime Minister. Coming forward next is the leader of opposition.
Panel. It is very important to understand that the opening government has already acknowledged that the remote working will not work in all sectors of the economy, and as he highlighted, maize is not going to grow itself, right? But this is something which we believe that from our side of the house, we might have a better solution to this motion. So we believe that, okay, fine, we can actually coexist within the on-site work and the remote work, but not as a norm, but as an alternative at the end of the day. Because one, what we find from his speech, as he mentioned that there are VPNs, voice over IP, Wi-Fi and stuff, but it doesn't take consideration of what the cybersecurity is within the status quo. We will tell you that what we have seen is that there have been hackers already, and we have seen the blockchain itself, which deals with Ethereum, Bitcoin being hacked. And we are saying now, for many companies which are existential, what is going to happen to the safety of their data? This is a rhetorical question I pose to the opening government. But moving on to our side of the government, I'll give you 4 levels of engagement which are going to actually deal with the issues which they've mentioned. So firstly, there's a tragedy of commons, where we're saying that there's going to be a sectorial distortion at the end of the day, where you find that many sectors are going to benefit and others are going to die. This is where you find that it's only the technological sector which is going to be growing increasingly. But you are now forgetting about the other sectors, which are the aspects of like entrepreneurship at the end of the day. As much as they want to say yes, people can work from home, but we are saying that we need workshops, we need infrastructure. You may talk about real estate at the end of the day, but you are now foregoing how other people are in need of the big infrastructure which you cannot fit in your own home. This is something which they are not considerate about. Secondly, I'll tell you about retrenchment issues. You will find that post-COVID era, people have been retrenched, especially contract workers in many sectors of the economy. This is something which we find detrimental at the end of the day. So if we are now going to resort to remote working as a norm, this means that those people will never get their jobs back. Meaning that already within a society where there is a high prevailing unemployment rate, we are not being considerate of the society at the end. And also we are saying that, thirdly, there's going to be a moral hazard which is going to be there. And by the moral hazard, I'm talking about the false sense of security from future threats. I'm talking about now where we are saying that already we have monkeypox being rampant within other countries. We are saying that we are going back there. But we are saying that for the status quo, where we are saying that already we are out of the COVID era, people should just revert to the norm, and we will find the solutions when the problem will come. I'll come back to you. And then fourthly, there is going to be an issue of perfect rationality which has to be into consideration. By perfect rationality is, I'm talking about the temporary solutions which we don't know about the permanent problems which are going to be existential within the future. This is where you find that we are going to say, okay, fine, we want to engage in remote work through internet, through everything. But you are not even considerate enough about the cyber security concerns which are there, especially within third world countries. Shoot straight, sir.
You were saying we are so scared of monkeypox, but we are also acknowledging that cars kill people every day, but we also drive
Exactly.
cars. So.
This is why you find that there is a cost-benefit analysis which is supposed to be there. We cannot say that we are going to just walk by feet because cars are going to kill people. You can even just die because of a heart attack because you are walking. At the end of the day, it's a cost-benefit analysis which we are actually putting into consideration, where we're saying that, okay, fine, there's a threat which can be within the society within the next 30, 40 years, right? But you are not actually considering the threats which are behind the cyber security concerns which are within this debate. Because we believe that there are certain aspects of security, there are certain aspects of hacking, there are certain aspects of confidentiality at the end of the day. So I believe that at the end of the day, if we do not give a solution, as you had already proposed that you are going to give us a solution to what the threats are within this debate, we believe that so far opposition is taking this. Thank you.
That was the leader of opposition representing Gweru Polytechnic. Coming forward is the Deputy Prime Minister. He can come.
Good day to you all. So the opposition mentioned something about monkeypox. And what I'm saying to you is, isn't it actually beneficial if we adopt remote working more, since this allows better control of people, better isolation? That means there's less chances of actually spreading the disease. And then they also mentioned something about blockchain being able to be hacked, but that is not true.
Point.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, ma'am, is your policy considering the status quo in third world countries?
Yes, it is. Moving on to my speech. We're saying let us implement an integrated approach to this working approach. We're not saying that we should just jump into remote working, because yes, we can't deny that maize is not going to grow itself. And to be honest, we, in the agricultural sector, we haven't reached the technological capacity to actually remotely work. And engineers are actually working on that, because we have the Blue Lab computers, which allow you to actually fertilize, not at this moment, which actually allow you to fertilize your crops remotely. And there's irrigation. You can do that without actually being on site. So yes, we are working towards that integration, and it's going to take time. I'd also like to mention the advantages of remote working. That is, it's time efficient. And there's also a point that the opposition mentioned that about accidents. Let us also consider that accidents are killing people every day. Like, and if we're actually remote working, that means there's a better safety, health-wise, physically.
Point of information.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're saying that the blockchain can be hacked, can you please enlighten me on what type of encryption they are using for the safety of that blockchain?
Not at this moment, I'm sorry. Let's also not disregard research, specifically that was done by the Harvard Business School, that proves that during their surveys with workers have actually become more comfortable and would rather prefer remote work. So let's give the people what they want, because they've actually come to get used to it, and they are happy about the flexibility that it offers. It offers you flexibility such that you can balance your social life, your family life with your work. You can actually venture into new hobbies, find yourself, and that way you actually not gonna get bored of a structure that you have to wake up and go to work every day, be in an office and be managed every day by someone, being told what to do. And so, yeah, it's offering more flexibility to the workers. And like my partner said, there's the real estate costs that are being reduced, because you're no longer having to like have workspaces for like everyone. For example, you can't be putting your managers in like a basement or whatever. You actually have to make rooms with good furniture. And like, also we're saying that the leaders in these organizations should be offering training to the workers to allow them to create good work environments from their homes. And that way
Thank you. That was the Deputy Prime Minister representing Lupane State University. Now it's time for the Deputy Leader of Opposition to come forward.
Panel. So we have to understand that this whole government, what they are saying here is that one reason argument that stated that they do not have to be on site, but rather we come and tell you that using the strategy of commons, this is where the sectional distortions in the economy is actually disturbed, because we actually need people on site. For example, if we have a security company, they actually need to guard a building at the site where the building is. So this is where we come and tell you that the opening government, yes, they stated that, but rather their point is not valid, because one is needed on this site to be able to do their work. Then they also mentioned that there is a reduction of estate cost, but rather the issue here is that we say some must be attended to, some must be on site to work. For example, one can be drunk during this time when they are working at home, and they can be very lazy, and actually they can be just log in and say that they are present at the moment for the meeting whilst they are sleeping rather. So this is when we come and tell you that the point is not that valid. Also, what type of encryption are they using for blocking the hackers? Because there is an issue of cyber concern whereby the VPN of most companies during the same pandemic that they are using, we actually affected. This is the very same time when we find that companies like Google did not actually allow any people or any other devices to be used by their workers within their homes, because they were actually afraid of that, the fact that their servers might be destroyed. Then also there is an issue of
information
taken.
Ms. Speaker, ma'am, are you suggesting that working on site removes the risk of cybersecurity?
Yes, it does, because here we're saying that there are critical sectors where rather you do not have to tamper with the servers of the companies, the VPN securities. Actually, they are instances whereby someone worked at a cafe, and at the very same cafe, it is where the servers of the companies then got viruses from there. So then we go on and tell you about the issue of perfect rationality, where it actually states that people want what is best for them at the moment, but then we do not look at what will happen in the next 20 years. For example, in the 1980s, who actually knew that we were going to have emails and all sort of other things that we had now? So this is also where you come and tell you about the moral hazards, where protecting an individual against some bad outcomes, it leads to behavior that actually may increase the likelihood of that bad outcome. This is where we talk of people who can actually be lazy because they'll be working from home. This is where we actually talk of people who actually, for instance, there is different energy levels of working when your boss is around and when you are working in the absence of your boss, because you know that there's no one who's going to give you a harsh command, so you can actually do whatever it is that pleases you. This is the very same time when we find that the company productions would then decrease, because we won't be working with the given target and someone behind us. Actually, then we also talk of the tragic commons, where it removed conservative mind within the people, where they were used to go to school, yes, but now.
Time's up. Thank you so much. So those were the arguments that were made by the opening government and the opening opposition. Still to come will be the closing government and the closing opposition from Africa University and Chinhoyi University of Technology. So all you gotta do to see all those arguments is to stay tuned. Welcome back. It is the 5th edition of the SASI debate competition. So for those people that may have any if you have any problem when it comes to sexual reproductive health, or you might want to have knowledge, or you might have suffered from sexual harassment, sexual abuse, and maybe you might have even an idea that maybe you might have an STI or an STD, well, guess what? We have got a toll-free number, 577, which is 577, where you can get to tell us, you can get to engage with us, and maybe you can also even get free treatment right here at Say What. So many thanks to our supporting partner, the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe. Right now it is time for the closing government and the closing opposition to actually have their arguments. To those that are joining us, the motion reads, with the motion, this House proposes a world where after COVID-19 is no longer a threat, remote work remains a norm. I'll repeat, with the motion, this House proposes a world where after COVID-19 is no longer a threat, remote work remains the norm. So right now I'd like to call upon the member of government.
Compliments of the day to you all. I am the member of government. First, I'll rebut, defend, and give you an extension. First, but not least, I would like to remind everybody here that us as the government, we are not advocating to abolish on-site work, but rather we are advocating to normalize remote working. So, most of the points raised by the opposition point were actually not true, because what we are saying is for jobs, for example, like accounting, that doesn't require someone to be actually present at work. Let them work at home and let that be the normal day. And for those sides, like my colleague says, like agriculture, we can't grow crops at home. For those sides, we say they will be continuing with on-site. I would like to rebut what the leader of opposition said. He came here and asked about encryption. I would like to answer him. Yes, there are third world countries like Zimbabwe where we don't have much money, but currently there is a global market where you can actually purchase softwares, for example, firewalls. These firewalls can quickly be purchased. It's an instant purchase on the internet where you will be able to protect your information on your server.
Point of information?
Denied. There are workshops that can be done online. He talked about how would they be able to conduct seminars if they are home. Ladies and gentlemen, there are Teams application that can actually accommodate 20 or more people on the same line to have a meeting, a seminar, or a workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not abolishing on-site work, but rather we are advocating to solidify that if someone can work at home, let them do it. Why? Because remote work is efficient and effective.
Engage.
Now, I was very happy when the opposition talked about cost-benefit analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Zera Fuel Import Statistics in 2020 reports, it stated that 736 million liters of diesel are currently being imported in Zimbabwe yearly. 404 million liters of petrol are currently being imported in Zimbabwe yearly. Working at home, we ensure that no one has to commute to and for to work, thus decreasing the amount of petrol needed to be imported. Thus, the cost and benefit analysis for Zimbabwe will have a positive impact, as they will be able to save much more foreign currency than they've ever saved on fuel. Working at home, rejected. Working at home, remote working is not only something that can be contained to a business environment and employees, but it's something that should be normalized because it is good for the global world. Ladies and gentlemen, according to SaveThePlanet.com, global warming is caused by, according to SaveThePlanet.com, 27% of global warming is caused by transportation and air pollution caused by transportation. Commuting to and for from work for workers that do not need to be on site will actually be contributing to the environmental friendly and helping us to decrease global warming, since there will be no more air pollution, or rather there will be reduced air pollution from community. So remote working is not only an issue that can be surrounded to the business and the employees, but it's something that affects us globally and us as a country as a whole. Remote working not only affects us when it comes to cost savings and global warming, but it's also what we need to develop the tech world. It will be the incentive to improve technology, since we will need to be having computers and more advanced technology, since people will be working at home. This support the motion. Thank you.
That was the Member of Government representing Chinhoyi University of Technology. Now I call upon the Member of Opposition.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what the government fails to take into consideration is the fact that people do not exist in a vacuum. People are social animals. In as much as there are economic benefits and climate-based benefits in reducing or saying, let us work from home, we are all forgetting the mental aspect, the mental health aspect of making people work remotely instead of socializing. It has always been known that human beings are social animals and we cannot exist on our own. What the government is proposing, what the government is saying is that let us isolate people. They have taken the assumption that everyone is a family to go back home to, as was mentioned by the opening government, when they said that we want people to go back home and spend time with their families. They made the assumption that everyone is families to go back home to. Some people are so lonely and suffering from anxiety and depression and so many other mental health issues that are not being addressed.
Point of information.
That are not being addressed. And they actually go, the only place that they actually go and socialize and see other people is at workplaces. So by advocating that we work remotely, we have actually taken away that aspect of socializing, that aspect of being around people that make us feel whole, and isolating people. Taken.
Are you aware that Facebook and Instagram are for socializing?
Ladies and gentlemen, socializing behind a screen and socializing face to face is different. This is exactly why during the COVID-19 pandemic, the rise in anxiety issues, depression issues increased. But in that same time, the rise of the use of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter increased. So ladies and gentlemen, this does not make sense to say and assume that socializing behind a screen is the same as socializing with the people in real life. Now, the closing opposition came and said that the opening opposition came and told us that this is going to affect us economically, and that is very true. With the issue, they say that we are going to reduce use of fuel, but they've not taken into consideration that we're actually dilapidating another industry. The fuel industry is going to fail, which is actually going to affect the GDP of so many countries that are based in fuel production. For example, the UAE, which based in fuel production, their GDP is going to drop drastically because we are destroying their industry. They also came and said that we are going to reduce the need for real estate. The real estate industry is going to crash as well because we are going to reduce the need because their business is based on the need to sell buildings, office spaces to people. So if we fail to give them the chance to do so by reducing the use of office spaces, we have dilapidated another industry. So ladies and gentlemen, what we are saying is that we agree with their proposed counter policy, that let us not normalize the use of remote working, but rather let's blend it with on-site working. Let us work remotely only when it is necessary, only when it is absolutely necessary. For example, in a case where we want to reach people who are in a remote area that would otherwise be too expensive to reach, then let us use remote working. When we are in a pandemic and we cannot work, let us use remote working. But let us not normalize it and make it the norm. Let us not make it the only way or the main way to conduct business, because we have seen that it is most likely to do more harm to a country than it is going to do any good. With beg to oppose.
Thank you so much, Africa University. Coming up next, it is the whips. It's time for the whips, and we start with the government whip.
Well, the closing opposition came here to this podium and was advocating for social circles in a debate about corporate work. Well. Now, I am the leader. I am actually the government whip, and I'm here to support the motion which states that this House proposes a world where after COVID-19, remote is no longer a threat. Remote work remains the norm. Now, I'm here to summarize the debate and also solidify my partner's case. She brought in new insights to the debate. Now, the opposition case simply stands like this. They came and stated a point about other sectors like entrepreneurship collapsing because of remote work. They also came and spoke about there being a retrenchment. So they simply say that working from home will actually cause more harm to those who are retrenched. They also came and spoke about cybersecurity, which was already rebutted by my partner, and this I shall not waste more time on this. So they also came and spoke about there being perfect rationality where people work, where people make decisions based on what will benefit them the most. They also came and spoke about promoting laziness since there's no one who actually monitor people at home. And they also came and spoke about the fuel industry failing declined. The fuel industry failing due to there being less need to use fuel. Now, the government case stays like this. Our government came and spoke about this not being a new concept. We're simply advocating for remote work since this is not a new concept. It has been there. We just need to integrate more, as the government stated. And they also came and spoke about the work-life balance. We need to taken.
So the blockchain system is a decentralized system where the servers are not in the same place. Can you engage on the fact that you cannot just purchase a file for a decentralized system?
Ms. Speaker, ma'am, you cannot escape internet. Whether you're working from home or you're working on site, you still have that threat of working out of cybersecurity. So our point also said that it reduces the labor cost, which and also increases productivity, which works for both the worker, the employees, and also the employers, and also gives us a chance to hire better talent. Now I shall solidify my partner's case. My partner came to this podium and spoke about us having like a chance to have cheaper for us to save costs because of fuel. This is for us. This is beneficial to us because there is global warming. We need to save our globe. We need to save our globe because it serves us better. Our globe is the ozone layer is depreciating each day. So we need to save our globe. We need to save our planet because it serves us. The government is being futuristic. Declined. The government is being futuristic, and we support the government. We also my partner also said that there is global warming, and our planet is our home. We're seeing that the agriculture sector is declining because of global warming, and we need to save the agricultural sector. We also need to save ourselves from cancer. You need excess UV lights, excess UV radiation is causing a lot of cancers in people, and we're being futuristic. We need to save people. People need to live. For us to even work, we need to live. And we also see that the opposition was saying about cybersecurity and also on, but my partner came in and rebutted that and clearly said that you cannot escape it. Work is using internet, accounting is using internet, we're using internet everywhere. We cannot escape it, so we need to use a better solution. On-site work has already failed us during COVID, and we need a better solution, which is on-site work. With this, I raise my case.
Now it is time for the opposition whip.
Making this a norm means that it becomes something that is expected. And what happens in a community, in a global community where people cannot meet expectations, those people will be othered and heavily disadvantaged. My noble delegation, we as the closing opposition are simply considering the third world countries, my noble delegation, and we simply are considering the social aspect of the worker and their mental health. Now, this is the debate that carried on, my partner. What happened was the opening government came here and claimed that working from home makes it a proper working environment. However, they failed to explain to us what makes it proper and what makes it proper and what makes working from at work improper. And then moving on. They also speculated that every home is safe. But my noble delegation, there are gender-based violence cases that rise when people tend to stay at home. These are things that happen during COVID-19, and we cannot claim that staying at home becomes safe simply because when people are staying together for a very long time, they tend to get bored of each other. My noble delegation, we all went through the pandemic, my panel. You understood what it was like to stay at home for all the time. So what then will happen if you are forced to work at home each and every day, and you cannot go to work and socialize with the people that you stay with? And then they also claim that it is comfortable. And then they claim that it is comfortable for everyone. But my noble delegation, let us consider the extroverts. How then can we say it is comfortable for everyone when we know that the huge majority of people are extroverts? These people charge from being in social environments. How can they be charged when they're staying at home? Now the opening opposition came in and proposed a blended solution, which we agreed with. We're saying we only have to use this when it is necessary. We engaged with it and we support what they were saying. However, we also added an extension of socialization and mental health. We are saying we have to consider the extroverts, and we have to consider the people that rely on the socializing they get at work, so that this can be implemented. Now, the closing government came in with their theme of it being futuristic. My noble delegation, how then can we say it is futuristic when we're not considering the third world countries? We cannot set a norm that a huge chunk of the world cannot conform to. What then will happen if people are now doing this when we have places like Binga in Zimbabwe? And then we know that countries like Zimbabwe are predominantly rural and are ICT illiterate. These people will suffer. And then our economy will tremble, my noble delegation. And even the transport sector, as it's trembled, we will then understand that even the Ministry of Transportation will be affected greatly. So we as a delegation are indeed engaging with the economic argument, and then we are extending it with the social argument. This is what was carrying on in the debate. Now, why we as a delegation deserve to win is we understand that it is necessary for ICT to be used in work, but it should not be made the norm. We also brought in the social aspect of it. We also brought in the mental aspect of it, which is something that did not come in any other part of this debate. And we also, as a delegation, also understand that human beings cannot live in isolation. We do not undermine the power of socialization. We do not undermine the power of the mental health, simply because we understand that a person cannot perform to their best if they are not mentally healthy. And how can a person be mentally healthy when they are isolated, my noble delegation, when they're depressed, when they are suffering from anxiety? They will not perform. And then we also illustrated that cybersecurity will be harmed, and we cannot work with a very risky policy that cannot be backed up, with a very, very risky policy that was not supported entirely. So we beg to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. So those were the closing arguments from the closing government and closing opposition. So right now we're about to take a short break, but in the next segment, as we wait for the results for the adjudicators to have a deliberation, we're going to do it's a segment called Get to Know Your Partner. You can also actually play with us on all our social media platforms. It's Say What. On Instagram, it's Say What Zimbabwe, Twitter, Say What Org, and Facebook, it's just Say What, with the hashtag SASI debate, hashtag debate for health. So stay tuned, because things are about to get interesting. This is the SASI debate, proudly brought to you by Say What, and many thanks to our partner, which is the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe. Please get in touch with us, hashtag SASI debate, hashtag debate for health, and we're about to play a game with the contestant, but we can also play it with you. You can just engage with us. So the game is, how well do you know your partner? Are you ready? Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to swap your partners, because I'll just ask you the same question, and then you just have to write on a note, on a piece of paper, then we just see how well do you know your partner. So, ma'am there, can you swap with this lady? Can you be like this? And yes, ma'am, you can move. I'll make you my partner. Okay, are you ready? How well do you know your partner? So the question goes like this. I just need you to, it's 10 seconds. It's not tough. It's not like it's quiz. Simple. What is your partner's favorite beverage? What is your partner's favorite beverage? Yeah, there's some times whereby we see that my partner likes, you always drinks this or this and this and this and this. So please, for those at home, you can also, if you know someone who's actually has had or any experience with sexual harassment, sexual abuse, and maybe you can be you who wants to know more about sexual reproductive health, please do get in touch with us on our toll-free number, which is 577. It's that simple. We've written our answers right. No, I hope you went actually.
No.
Okay.
Why she's not even trying?
All right, we'll start with you, sir.
Her favorite.
Her favorite, yes.
A favorite beverage is Fun and Fresh because they no longer make NutriPlus.
All right, ma'am, do you agree? What's your comment?
It's Cascade. But it was close.
It was close because it's a dairy product.
Yeah.
All right, and you, what did you write?
I honestly don't know, but he just looks like a Poco guy.
Sir, is that correct?
No, it's actually Fun and Fresh.
Serious?
Yeah.
Ma'am, all right. For you, ma'am, what did you write?
I know he likes energy drinks.
Energy drinks.
Yes.
All right, do you have any specific one?
I'll say Switch.
Switch. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
That is correct. Did you write Switch? Are you sure? What did you write?
I actually wrote for her.
All right. Oh, all right. It is Switch. All right. For her?
For her,
What do you
I know she likes soda. I'm not sure which one, but
Do you like soda?
I like Mirinda Apple.
No, the apple. All right. Thank you so much. Ma'am, what did you write for your partner?
I
What?
wrote whiskey.
Whiskey. Do you really like whiskey, guy?
I really don't know why she would lay on me on national television.
What's the correct answer? What's your favorite beverage?
I love juice, just plain juice.
I just say that for television. If you like whiskey, it's not.
True, that is true.
You do like whiskey is the good answer.
This is TV.
All right, what did you write for her, anyways?
Actually, she loves the wine. She does.
I do.
Ah, that's good. That's good. That you. You, sir? What did you write? What's your partner's favorite beverage?
Funny enough, I don't know, but I just assumed it's fruit juice.
She's like, huh? Really? Yeah. What's the correct answer for Beth? For you, yeah. What?
Yeah.
It's what?
Belgravia.
It's Belgravia. And for the what did you write? What's your partner's favorite beverage?
Castle Light.
Is it good?
Just for the sake of progress. No.
What is your favorite beverage?
It is just castle.
Oh, without the light.
Without the light part.
Without the light part. Welcome back. It is the SASI debate. So right now, about to announce the results for this episode. So at fourth place is Lupane State University. Lupane State University. Third place is Gweru Polytechnic. Gweru Polytechnic. And the winners for this episode are it is Africa University. A round of applause to everyone. So thank you to all of you. Just hoping that we'll be able to see you at the semi-finals. They're actually here. So thank you, all the best. Wish you all the best. Okay, so that's it from us at Say What. It was the SASI debate competition. I hope that you enjoyed. And yeah, let's always get to know each other and engage on all social media platforms. From us at Say What and me, your debate master, Titenda Prince Chitenene, thank you so much. Until another episode, thank you and good day.
Even Mandela had a dream. EMP is a dream. You better get up and work on your dream. Work on that dream. Work on that dream. Work on that dream.
I got a dream. When you know you have a dream,